Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back with Pak Beni Saptianto. In this class, you will learn the easiest way to talk about the future in English, and that is by using the word will. When we use the word will, we are, in fact, using the future simple tense. This class is part of a series created by Pak Beni Saptianto to help you master all of the English verb tenses step by step so that you can communicate more fluently in English. So, when we talk about the future, what do we mean? We are talking about anything that happened after now. For example, it could be something that happened 5 minutes from now or 50 years from now. All of that is the future. In English, we have many tenses and ways to talk about the future. Some of them are basic and some of them are more advanced. So let's start by looking at some basic ways to talk about the future in English. So there are three basic ways by using the phrase going to, by using the present continuous is for the future, or by using will, which is what our class today is going to be focusing on. So how can we think about this? Let's look up here first. If you are talking about some formal situation, something more official and formal in business, in academics, or even in a social situation with someone you don't know very well. For example, if it's formal, it is very easy. Then all you do is you use will to talk about the future, okay? Now, what if the situation is a little more informal? Either when you are speaking, if when you are writing, same thing here. In speaking and writing, if it's formal, we are going to use will. Formal, we are going to use will. But if it's an informal situation, maybe it's more casual, it's more friendly, it's with people that you know, then you have to consider 2 points. Is the thing you are talking about the action? Is it something that is planned in advance? Or is it something unplanned and happening at the moment of speaking? Let me explain. So, if it's planned, then we would use this phrase going to, or we would use present continuous. For example, we might say, I'm going to meet John tomorrow. Because you have a plan to do that, you might have an appointment to do that. Or you could say, I'm meeting John tomorrow. Same thing, okay? It's planned in advance. But if it's unplanned, that means what? What do we mean by unplanned? It just came up. Let's suppose you are at a meeting and someone says, hey, could you meet John tomorrow? And you say, okay, I'll meet John tomorrow. So, you just decided at the moment of speaking, and it is an informal situation because you know John. So, Then we can use will and of course, as we already said, if it is a formal situation. Then we use will, planned, unplanned, doesn't matter. It is a formal situation. Then we would say something like, I will meet Mr. William tomorrow. Okay? So this is your basic overview, and of course we will be looking at all of this in more detail so you really understand it very well and can use it correctly yourself. Now let's look at when we can use the future simple tense in real life. As you know, we can use it in formal situation. For example, the ceremony will begin at 8. Okay? It's an official ceremony. Official ceremony. Maybe it is an award ceremony, a graduation ceremony. So it's something formal and official. So we can use it in that context, right? The ceremony will begin. That's our future. We can use it in planned events. For example, you can uh, you call to make an appointment and the receptionist says, "Okay, the doctor will see you at 3." So this is something that's planned. It's an appointment, right? The doctor will see. All right? Good. We can also use it very often to talk about business. For example, a busy company will open a new factory, alright? Here we have will open. So this is like an official announcement. It's a little more formal, right? So we see that we see will being used in its full form. Next, we can also use it when practicing something about the future. For example, experts say food prices will rise. We see here will rise. They are making a prediction about what might happen in the future. We can also use it as we saw. For informal situation, for example, I will call you later. Now we see that when it's formal, we are using the contraction. We will look at that more in a short while, but you can notice here, I will call you later. Same thing, informal, right? You can also use it for something that's not planned in advance informally. For example, hey, I will give you a ride to the subway. Let's suppose you and your colleague are just stepping out of the office and suddenly it starts pouring rain, or there's a big snowstorm and you have a car and your colleague doesn't. So you say, hey, I will give. Okay. Next, you can use it for ordering food. For example, when you order food in a restaurant, you don't always decide in advance what you are going to order. You look at the menu, you see what you feel like, and then you order something. So you are kind of making that decision on the spot. So you might say something like, I will have small cheese pizza. I will have. Okay? So we can use it as I said to talk about like the immediate future right away because you are ordering right now. You can also use it when you are promising something about the future. For example, I'll return your book tomorrow, okay? I'll return or I will return. Next, you can use it when you're offering something. For example, I'll help you finish the report. I see that you have got a lot of work left. Hey, I will help you finish the report, okay? I will help. Next, we can also use it lots of time to talk about possibility. We are not sure, but it is possible that something will happen or that we will do something. For example, maybe I'll take a break and watch a movie tonight. Maybe somebody's been studying very hard or working very hard and they just want to relax. And they say, you know what? Maybe I'll take a break. So, this maybe is possibility uncertainty about the future. So then we can use the future simple tense. Now let's look at how we form the future simple tense, and I really think you are going to love this part because it is so easy. Let's see how it's done. So I have divided the word into three for positive sentence, negative sentence, and for question. So the basic structure that you are going to follow for a positive sentence is that you take the subject, which I, you, we, they, he, she, it, plus will, plus the verb, subject, will, and verb in its base form, of course. That's the interesting part. You don't have to change the verb at all. In many languages, in the future tense, you have to change the entire verb, sometimes for every different subject, but in English, no, you don't. This is one of those times when English is actually easier than many other languages. So let's see how to do it. So in a positive sentence, in positive sentence, we would say I will work. All right, this is our base. This is our base form of the verb, and all we are doing is we are taking the subject. We are using will before it, and the verb doesn't change. You say it after me. I will work. You will work. We will work. Um, she will work and it will work. Okay, that's basically it. Now what happens when we make it negative? It is very simple. We are just adding the word not. Okay, we just adding not. I will not work. He will not work. They will not work tomorrow. Okay, like that, very simple. Then to make a question we have to change the order, so we say, will I work tomorrow? I don't know. Will you work? Will we work? Will they work? Will he work? Will she work? Will it work tomorrow? Okay, so that's the question. You are just changing the order, but there are many other special changes. That's basically it. It's really as straightforward and simple as you could wish. Now, here are some other points to keep in mind when we are using this tense. Very often, we can use some expression before this. You don't have to, but you can. For example, you could say, I think they will work tomorrow. I think they will work tomorrow, or I believe he will work tomorrow. I suppose she will work tomorrow, or I imagine we will work tomorrow. I don't know. I don't think it's a holiday. I imagine that we will work tomorrow like that, okay? Or you could also make it negative. For example, uh, I don't think they will work tomorrow because it's holiday, okay? So you can do that. I don't think, I don't believe, and so on. But again, do you have to use this? No, you don't have to. You can just use this and that's fine. Now, one other point instead of will not work. You are going to see that we can also use some contraction. We will learn more about that soon. But a very common and necessary contraction for will not is one. So instead of saying I will not work, especially if it's informal, right? Then we will just say I won't work. Alright? He won't work tomorrow. She won't work. We will look at that again very soon. And before questions, sometimes we add question word. For example, we could say where will they work? When will they work? How long will they work, right? So if you do that, then just put that word here, like where will he work, okay? That is all right. Now, one other question that I get very often when we start learning will is what about shall? I have heard that we can say shall sometimes instead of will. Well, it is like this. Usually in sentences, okay, positive or negative. We don't in North America, we don't really use shall in the sentence instead of will. We do not usually say I shall go there because it sounds very formal and very official and very a little bit old fashioned, a little bit like Shakespeare, which is wonderful but is not really used. So I would not encourage you to use it in sentences or negative sentences. What we do sometimes, though, is we use it to create kind of a polite question. So we could say, for example, only with I or we. You could ask somebody, shall I order? Shall I order dinner? It's just like a polite way of asking about something in the future, or shall I bring some dessert when I come to your house, or shall we dance, or shall we begin? Like, shall we begin the lesson? That's fine. We do use it in question like this. Very polite question, but really not anywhere, and that's basically how it works. Remember that you can also do same thing with irregular verb, okay? It doesn't matter because the verb isn't going to change, right? So you could say I will go, like go is an irregular verb, but you don't need to change it at all. Just the base form of the verb. They will go, he will go, you will go, the same thing, all right? And that's how you form these tense. This is the end of my class about future simple tense by Pak Beni Saptianto. And if you have any question, you can write down in the comment, and please ask about what uh, you don't understand. Okay, thank you very much. See you later.